night out, drunk, I knew.
You are listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
The potato peelings in the sink did not turn into vodka as I had hoped. I only start to need a drink after the liquor stores have closed. I heard you changed your name again, but don't you change your hair. It was the only thing I liked about you in the end. La la la.
Hey, this is a podcast with in LA with Brian Hennigan, my business partner / manager, and my tour manager, Greg Chaille, that we were pretty fucked up, and Bingo told us, it sounded boring from the bedroom, so we weren't going to put it out. And then we go, fuck her. What does she know? We're putting this out. Doug Stanhope Podcast from Los Angeles. Greg Chaille, Brian Hennigan. Brian Hennigan, for the record, get this straight. Chaille is my tour manager as well as the producer of this podcast. Brian Hennigan is my filthy uncut Scotsman business manager. I say business partner. And the filthy uncut Scotsman Hennigan gets lots of requests via the Twitter, via the social media, the feedback. Get more Brian Hennigan. They love you, Hennigan. They love your... If we could have had fucking Hennigan on the James Inman podcast, I would almost fly Inman out. Round trip.
You really think that would have worked? There's so much going on.
Hennigan and Inman together. The way no one can trash Inman the way Hennigan gets in his head. I fuck with Inman, but Brian Hennigan just gets in him like a virus and eats him alive ever since the Death Valley parties.
Well, actually, it all started in Edinburgh, really, because I booked Inman, remember?
Oh, geez, this is a story.
That's a good backstory. Yeah.
We never told it. Well, we probably told Inman, he forgot, but I didn't say it on the podcast. You brought him over to the Edinburgh Festival. I'm getting the story I'm getting to is what you were going to do where he's a character.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us the story about Inman.
Well, so, I mean, I'd taken, let me get this right. I built up a head of steam in the UK, in Edinburgh, I brought over you,
David Crow,
Dwight Slade, Maria Bamford.
Nice.
It's like, basically I was like, 4 for 4. Like,
yeah.
And
she just beat me in a competition I didn't know I was in.
I
only found out from Twitter. Bamford, Bamford's great.
Yeah, best road comic. I'm not sure she.
But what was I don't even know what would it.
The American. I sent you the thing for the American Comedy Awards.
Well, whatever.
Anyway, so the point is, I saw or met up. I'd seen James Inman with his very funny thing that he used to do called. That'll be news for some people, but this thing called Greyhound Diary, which was like an audio-visual presentation, a sort of Bukowski-esque journey across America, narrated by James. And I'd sort of met up with him and seen him in Seattle.
I thought it was just a book.
No, he did a whole stage slideshow thing.
Yeah.
That seems very ambitious for James.
Early on.
And the interesting thing is that, at that point he was basically sober. He'd been sober for like 2 or 3 years.
No.
Yes. Guarantee it. But when he came to Edinburgh, anyway, it took Edinburgh 4 days to make him start drinking again, because
or 4 days for his story to start to fall apart about the 2 or 3 years of sobriety.
No, he was pretty.
He might have had a length of sobriety, but go ahead.
It all went very badly.
Well, it was. Here's the thing, Inman. He goes, "Oh, now I can do my George Bush material." 3 years too late for over there. Yeah, they're pretty quick with You can't do tired fucking material there. You have a.
And here's the thing: instead of sort of adapting and surviving, he just dug in on this. You don't understand how difficult this is. If I did this in Kansas City, I'd be killed. It's like, well, you're not in Kansas City, James.
You're not in Kansas anymore, Inman.
He actually said Kansas. Anyway, it's like we're in a slightly more different place.
So Brian is a master manipulator of the press.
I was. Maybe I still am.
At that point, let me just say, you had a lot of friends in the press because you did bring a lot of.
Yeah.
So you called in a lot of favors.
I called in favors and had them unreview his show so that.
Whoa! Let's unreview a show.
Well, then
just don't review it at all.
Yeah,
please do not put out.
Stay away.
You came to the show. You saw what it was. Let's let this one not appear.
Actual no press is good press. Not bad press, but no press is good press.
Yeah,
Can we meet in the middle?
Wow. And your track record being 4 for 4.
Yeah, you don't want
God.
to be besmirched by James Inman.
Yeah.
So Inman has a streak of horrific shows.
Yeah. And here's I think that was the year? It was the first year that I had been able.
Had to be 04 because I think
it was just was it just after my.
I did 02.
Yeah.
So it was 04 when George Bush was already.
That's right, because you overlapped with him. Now I think that was the year of my eye operation. So I'd had an eye operation and I couldn't be as mobile as I was, but I still had to make money because I hate to say this, you've people who have regular jobs with fucking insurance and shit, but when you're self-employed, you can't just take a few months off. You don't get sick pay. So I had this debilitating eye operation, and in lieu of running around like a crazy person, I was chairing events at the Edinburgh Book Festival, and there was a book event I chaired with a philosopher called, this goes somewhere by the way, called Ted Honderich, who'd just written this book that had a very controversial statement in it about the Jews. Or Palestine or something like that, to the extent that there were death threats and things like this. And so we were going along, and I was chairing the event. I was on the stage with Ted Honderich in front of this packed tent of people at the Edinburgh Book Festival. And I brought James along because I thought, he's always, talking about how fucking intellectual he is and all the things he's interested in and so on and so forth. And so after the event, all he talks about is, I can't believe you took me in there. It was so dangerous. I could have been attacked. Anything could have happened. And it's like, James, you're a fucking bystander. You're nobody. You're some guy with an umbrella in Dallas in 1963. I was on the fucking platform next to the target, okay? No, you don't understand. It's like, James, I understand everything all too well now. I'm afraid. And James talks constantly about his intellectual capacity in the way that, some men will talk about their dick length, And then in the entire time, Edinburgh has more bookshops of greater depth than most cities in the world, even now, and certainly back then. And James didn't venture out the apartment to visit one of them.
No. But you decided at some point it would be hilarious if you told the press that James Inman
was a character actor creation.
Yeah, that was he was the Paul Rubens of that Pee Wee Herman.
Yes. I mean, the secret was that we should let it lie for like 2 or 3 years and then unmask him and say, ha ha ha, we hoodwinked all of you.
But no, and then you'd bring him to the press.
And we'd bring him to the press.
And say he's always in character.
That's
as
right.
This James Inman guy.
That's right. Keep him in character, but not tell him any of this. So that he would just keep going, no, I'm real.
Which
Oh,
is
that's
a brilliant
brilliant.
idea.
Yeah.
I know we've kind of busted it now.
Yeah. He's
Oh.
kind of busted.
Yeah. Oh dear.
But you just at that point you were just booking a venue at the Edinburgh
Yeah,
Festival.
yeah.
I don't want to even get into all the
The minutia of it all. Yeah.
of how Edinburgh works.
Yeah.
I'm against it. It's ripe for a fucking overthrow.
Difference is, well, no, actually, the interesting thing is, it's not as ripe for overthrow as other festivals. There are other festivals. I mean, I would say Edinburgh is far better than the prevailing norm, which
Wait,
is
so people lose more money.
no. But at least in some respects it's voluntary. Whereas what I find more disgusting is the curated festival where it's like, oh, we've selected you. Oh,
Yeah,
you're so lucky that we have selected you.
You may have already
to
won.
spend your own money to come here.
Yes. Yeah. So, and you're going to do 10 nights at this theater. They'll all be sold out, and you might make $1,100. It's like
After you've spent $900 to get into the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, all of us.
Do you know how big this festival was in 1978?
Which one is it? Oh yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Oh, the laying back on our laurels worldwide festival.
Yeah.
Rosanne Barr almost got a development deal before she was known here.
Tell your story of chicken.
Chicken. No. Listen.
I think
No,
you've
no,
told that
no.
story.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, we're keeping this on Brian Hennigan. You're the guy with the sweetheart requests.
I don't have. Anyway, so that's the James Inman angle.
Where the hell have you been?
When?
Well, recently.
I've not been doing
All the time you should have been booking dates.
I've been bobbing and scatting.
It was funny. We're in Los Angeles right now. My first Airbnb. We rented this place for pennies on the pennies.
I have to ask you. We were talking about when we were going to come out, and you had certain days you were going to have to do things, so we're kind of busy every day. Why did you pick this? What was?
Because it's on Curson. We're 2.5 blocks from the apartment I lived in for
But were
10
you just
years.
plucking around or something and decided?
Yeah, no, I was fucking off just
Okay.
on a day off with Airbnb. And then I found a place that is right down the street from
Yeah.
Hennigan. We're coming in we're doing all these podcasts. We're doing Bill Burr, Bert Kreischer, Bret Easton Ellis, Joe Rogan, and then whatever we come up with.
Obviously, it's good to live in an area that you know.
Yeah. And it's, for what hotels cost here, we just get a 2-bedroom, duplex, 2.5 blocks from where I grew up in Los Angeles.
Cut your
in my
teeth in LA,
comedy
yeah.
career.
Yeah.
So it's nice, and we get to get Brian Hennigan on the thing, who we ran into after we just showed up. We should be asleep right now. We all took Xanax.
On the plane?
Well, Tracy Chaille's gal pal here, Tracy, has a hard time flying, and if you noticed, I for one time didn't fuck with you.
I have a hard time flying. That's why I use a plane.
You're gonna do the Gatsby over the top into the mic.
Shecky Green here.
She really is terrified of flying, so I will fuck with. If she's going to the airport, I'll go, I have a bad feeling about this one. And she's like, don't that. And Chaille's kicking me. That's not funny to her.
Did you see that report about Boeing?
She started to well up, almost crying at the bar when she thought she had lost her Xanax.
All right.
And you were gone, so I couldn't ask you if you had another one. And
I did that once when I thought I was going to get saddled with the bill.
You wept like a baby. So
it was a little tense today.
So
tense.
I took a Xanax. Bingo's having a hard day. She took a Xanax, and then we showed up, and we're supposed to be doing a podcast at some point later on tonight with God knows if he'll wake up by the time we fall asleep.
Who?
It's a guy.
It'll be the next one.
Yeah, or not. If it's not, we'll name him. We missed a lot of fucking podcasts. We met Ralphie May.
What the fuck happened with Ralphie?
He
May?
That wasn't
fucking
our fault.
Fell
That
asleep.
seemed very odd.
That wasn't our fault.
We thought he was dead.
For me, if anything, that would increase his thing in the death pool. The idea that he would just have fallen asleep.
Maybe he didn't
Well,
want to do it. Who knows?
yeah, there's a
he
lot
said
of
he
reasons he might not have called
went
back.
To exercise, and that knocked him out, and then he woke up at 1:30. Who knows?
Well, like the fucking captain on the ship and fucking.
Well, he was there the night
What's that-
before.
what's that
If
fucking-
I wasn't shit faced, we could have done it the night before. But
Well,
I
I mean-
had just done a show, and then you do merch, and I'm doing merch in Nashville on a sidewalk outside the place, and yeah, we could have done it that day, but we waited, and then it didn't happen.
Zany's is always a fun gig because we got the condo.
The other one was John Rocker.
Oh, that
Who,
yeah.
so I missed that one again. That night, if we weren't shit faced partying that night together, well,
That was
there's
2
a lot
nights.
of times.
Yeah.
Then, hey, tomorrow we'll do this, but for tonight,
Yeah.
let's stay out till 4 in the fucking morning and get hammered, and then we all fall apart the next day. So those are the 2 I missed. John Rocker and Ralphie May would have been fantastic in the moment, but the next day would have been shit anyway. So tonight we'll try to get this one done. Anyway, if nothing else, Sean Rouse is always somewhere nearby. Here, his tales of fucking broken woe. Funniest guy in the world. But yeah, I'm not taking him on the road.
It reminds me of that one time we were in Costa Mesa. I think Lynn was with us too, and she had a separate hotel room, but it was you and I and Rouse in the.
Oh no, that's San Diego.
San Diego, and that's Judy
So with the
Seaball.
biting and the bottle throwing.
Yeah.
And
No, when he started peeing in the corner on the box,
might have been the same night.
the pizza box. No, it's Costa Mesa.
Jeez,
don't remember
even
Costa
re-
It's
I
right
don't-
off the 55 freeway where it ends there, and well, anyway, he was in the corner, blackout drunk, and I thought the whole time he was.
Was that him in the corner?
It was, but his eyes were open just enough that and he kept like mumbling, like agreeing with you. They were talking sports, so I wasn't involved in the conversation, but I was just I was noticing that you guys were going back and forth, and this whole time Rouse is fucking out cold. He's mumbling something, but I don't think it's not
on
coherent.
his feet out cold.
Uh-huh.
He's pissing.
No. This is when he's sitting in the chair. And then finally, when we all go to sleep, there's pizza box, there's beer and everything. Like Doug crashes out in bed. Rouse is in a bed. And I think I was sleeping in the bed with Doug. So like we're kind of like just like on our each half of the bed. And then I hear this noise, and I turn the light on, and Rouse is pissing in the pizza box in the room that's balanced on top of one of those floor air conditioners. And I run over there and I grab him by the shoulder with one hand, and I grab the pizza box with the other, and like
He's
shuffle
guiding
feet,
him out. He's
shuffle feet
holding
to the door.
Pizza box, trying to catch the piss as he holds the guy, guiding him out the door.
Have you ever considered a Vegas show?
The aristocrats. I get him out to the door, and I go, "Hey, buddy, just out here's fine. Out here's fine." And
And he bit you.
I throw the box down, and this is when I thought that he was coherent the whole time. He had been out for hours, right, sitting in that corner. He has no recollection of this. He came back in and then was trying to piss again. I just turn around and go, "Till you're done." And then after this, he finally goes back to bed, but I can't sleep because I'm every little anything that happens in the room, I think it's him peeing. I look up and it's Doug. He's in the closet. There's just a bar.
Same night?
Same night. There's a bar. There's no closet. There's just a bar, and there's a little safe underneath it, like it's up on a pedestal.
Well, he's attracted to the bar.
He's a bar like to hang clothes on. He's pushing the clothes to the side, trying to get into the safe to pee. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm trying."
I did lend him the line, "The Witch in the Wardrobe," but it's probably from that.
Here's the thing. There's so many stories between Bingo and Chaille catching me going either through a closet to try to get to in my sleep, I know the bathroom's on the other side, and I can't understand why someone would put hangers between me and the bathroom and I've torn shit out of the fucking closet trying to get to the bathroom.
You heard my
I
story
remember
about
one
the Hudson?
time in Orlando where in my head, like I go around the fucking bed and I'm tearing the fucking lamp off the end table I'm just like trying to get. But there's so many times they've caught me trying to pee in the wrong place. And that's just the time people woke up and caught me. Like, how many times have I pissed all over everything and everyone slept like a baby on Ambien or Xanax or Benadryl, and I've just pissed all over everything. And I still refuse to tip housekeeping. Tipping housekeeping. What say you, Hennigan?
Well, funnily enough, I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
You did once on this last trip. That place,
It was...
we left it so bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't, yeah. But you reminded me of, you've heard my Hudson story.
No.
Right. The Hudson is this fucking wank-fetched hotel in New York City.
Like a W or something?
Yeah, worse.
Yeah.
No, the W.
Like a Trump.
Worse.
Like
It's-
nothing. First of all, for the record, not only is Tabasco an abomination of hot sauce, there is nothing worse than a Trump hotel.
Okay.
Yes, unless they have to put me up there for another Chris Rock movie or Louis C.K.
So it's a snooty. It's a snooty place.
Yeah, no,
But
it's,
Trump
no,
is
it's
a
not.
cunt.
See, I don't mind sweaty.
Highfalutin.
No, what I hate is a hotel where people for people who think because they book into it, they're the shit. That type of hotel. Like, oh, I'm staying here, and therefore some of the decor has conferred a certain status on me that I don't have as in my miserable job as a car salesman. Okay? It's a fucking... Anyway, so
I want to name a hotel which is my favorite hotel in the country in my top 5, and I will not name them, but the people that stay there are cunts because they stay there. Jupiter Hotel in Oregon. I love it more than anything.
So,
but a lot of people show up at that hotel and they're fucking cunty because of it.
yeah. So I'd got this, I think, either hot-wired or something. So I wasn't objectionable, but it's one of those, again, it's like, oh, it's a very trendy hotel, but the room's like, 8 foot by 6 of a Burmese jail cell, and and it's very well decorated, but you can see somebody washing their armpits from if they're in the shower. It's like, oh gosh, that's exactly what the type of intimacy I'd hoped for. Anyway, I'd gone out that night because I was in New York on my own, and on the way back from Times Square, because Times Square always wakes you up to daylight standards because it's so bright, and I thought, I'll do a little pub crawl on my own, and by the time I got back to the Hudson,
Do I go to the Playwright or the other Playwright around the corner? Which Playwright Tavern do I go to?
Yeah, so eventually I get back to the hotel and I'm fucking hammered. I go to sleep. I get up in the middle of the night. I make a mistake. And I instead of going to the bathroom, I go out into the hotel corridor, and I am now. And I wake up as the door is closing, click, and I'm now naked in the hotel corridor. And here's the thing, Doug knows this, you know this as well. I am as blind as a bat, and I don't have my contact lenses.
Oh,
in.
I thought we were going to say you have a huge uncut cock.
Well, I had that as well. That wasn't my problem.
Well, my problem is I know this because when we share a room, you will still be naked like you were that night alone and just walk around.
Like
Good morning.
Like
Yes.
a men's locker room.
And just for the record, I think Henry Phillips has already told his similar story, so we might have already told this on an earlier podcast. But either way,
my one trumps his. So the point
no,
is,
he pissed in the stairwell.
all right. So anyway, I'm in the Hudson. Did he name the hotel?
No,
Right.
go ahead.
He's too much of a pussy.
No, you're smarter than him.
Yeah. So I'm in the hotel and I'm like blind. I mean, I can just give people an idea. When I don't have my contact lenses in, I'm sitting in a booth right now.
You're a 2400.
The
that
point.
right?
Let's give it a more example. I'm in the corridor and I have to go up to the door and put my nose almost against it to see my room number.
All
That's that type of level of short-sightedness. And so I'm like, holy fuck. I know it's about 3 a.m. For some reason, I know that. It's like, holy fuck. So I quickly circumnavigate the entire floor.
You recon it.
And
Just kinda-
because there's
what
always
can
a
you do?
fucking hotel telephone, and all the time there are 3 hotel elevators, which you're just waiting for the ding, and I'm like, I'm sorry, so I'm moving at speed, and again I'm doing all this by touch because I can't see a hotel telephone. I'm having to feel for it. I go all the way around to find. And it's like, I can't believe this. It's so fucking modern and cool. There's no fucking hotel telephone. Fine. Right.
He's judging the hotel still. In his head, he's on Yelp. In reality, he's fucking uncut dick akimbo all over, fucking touching walls like
Knocking
Ellen
over
Keller.
vases.
Yeah. So then here's the good thing. It's like, wait a minute. So I calmed down. So I realized there's no hotel telephone. It's like, okay, calm the fuck down. Okay. There was a door you pushed and it opened. Let's go in that door. So I got back to that door and it was like, the sort of the maid's room, that little room there's always in every hotel. So
Housekeeping room.
Yeah. So they left it open. So I go in and there was an enormous pile. There was like a bucket of laundry. So I immediately pee in that because
I've never heard this part.
I am desperate for a fucking pee by this point. I'm agitated and desperate, even more desperate for a pee. And then there is what do you call it? Which is very convenient.
A rack?
There's a rack of very petite hotel bathrobes that they give you in those fucking wanky hotels. Not proper bathrobes.
Sauna
Like,
robe.
like a
yeah,
sauna,
so they barely go down to your thigh.
A Roman cut.
Right. So and so okay, having relieved myself of the pee, I'm much less agitated, and I'm able to sort of form an impression of the type of decorum I have to exhibit to get downstairs. So I get one of these robes on, and then we go down to the ground floor in the elevator. We being me, and
In the robe.
And here's the thing, though, it's one of those, like, one of the ways that they try to impress you is a kind of Grand Central type, hotel foyer. So it's enormous. And I literally cannot see 3 feet in front of me.
Yeah, but it's 30.
So
Yeah.
I'm like basically guessing where I'm going in a hotel robe that barely covers my nuts. Right?
Much less is uncut.
yeah.
Uncut.
So
The serpent hanging down to his knee.
and this is the only time this has ever happened. I walk up to the hotel desk across, and there's still people partying and things like
Starts
that.
talking to a wooden Indian. I need my key. Oh, I need my key.
Excuse me, I've been standing here for quite some time. I
Wow,
can't find
your
the
accent
bell.
is even worse than his.
I copy it from him.
Anyway, so the point is, I managed to make it across to the reception area, and I say to them, again, the important thing in these circumstances is to act like somebody has wronged you. Okay, okay, and I said,
It's a good tip. It's a good
yeah,
tip.
I went, I appear to have been locked out.
Like you want her to confirm it?
Yeah. And this is the important point, she probably had watched my fucking serpentine advance towards her, like I was playing a game of hide and seek with an invisible fucking stalker.
It's the A-team and they're shooting at him. He's going across.
I'm like,
He's pushing his hand out into the darkness in front of him. Like,
yeah. I'm fucking slaloming towards her like the fucking downhill at Kitzbühel, and she sees all this, and the fact I'm able to coherently say I appear to have been locked out of my room, she without even asking for ID says, "What room?" and then just gives me the key immediately to get rid of me. Doesn't say what's your name, anything. Didn't even ask my name. Just said, what room number?
Well, a blind guy in a half tourniquet with his penis hanging out, but with a good haircut.
Yeah.
That's the way to get a free room anywhere, anytime.
Oh, wow.
If you look the part, if you don't have tattoos on your face,
Can I
have
tell
a
you this?
nice haircut,
Yeah.
just walk in with a sauna robe on.
Tunic.
And here's the punchline, it's also the only way one of the only ways you will get one of their hotel robes for free.
Yeah, no one questions that either.
Yeah.
Henry Phillips had a similar story. I think we told it on one of those embarrassing stories podcasts.
That was in San Diego.
And he pissed in the stairwell. But this is the first time you've told me this story where you admitted you pissed in a hamper.
Well done, sir.
Good work. Yeah.
Good tips.
Yeah, the fucking Hudson. All those hotels, they're just grotesque.
New York is grotesque, but we've
Yeah.
covered that a million times in my act. What was what?
No, I was curious. It's like, because New York is tough. I mean, I've stayed there a few times and I've never satisfied. Like, what's a good hotel?
Well,
Like,
fucking
for-
Hennigan.
Hennigan's-
he's from the whole European circuit where a big a big room in New York City, which is tiny. The fucking Britain, the hotels we stay in, the three of us with our luggage are going into hyperventilating terror fits of
worst-
claustrophobia to go up one floor.
The worst ever, I think, was Copenhagen, Denmark, when it was a horrifically expensive hotel. We had a single
the
bed.
upstairs, downstairs?
We had a single bed in our rooms, like a for a kid's bed, like a single bed
Yeah.
each. And then for some reason, for an obvious
For the
reason-
record, because we've alluded to this before, and people are going, wait, you and Chaille were sleeping together in the same bed? Yeah, those are the nights you have where you just someone falls down somewhere. But yeah, we are cheap and we fucking share rooms. Generally, we don't share beds. With Hennigan, you don't share a room because he's a cunt and he can't sleep with the lights, but he can't have an eye mask and he's sober.
wow.
So yeah,
It's cheaper just to get a separate room.
Well, no, it's not cheaper over there. Over there, it's wicked expensive for so much less.
I know.
Yeah.
But the
I
thing
meant
is-
hassle factor.
The thing is, I remember is that in this Danish hotel, it was expensive, and they were used to a certain type of clientele, and the bartender hated Doug from the moment he saw him, and we sat at the bar, and even and Doug,
I'm remembering
Oh, it's
Yes.
coming back.
yeah, and Doug was determined to be liked, because it's one of his traits. Doug, you like people to like you.
Yes, I do.
And this guy
Off
was-
stage.
yeah,
off stage, I don't
yeah.
care. But
and
I'm
you're
fucking
a
polite
master
human
at flipping.
Yeah.
You can do a 180 on people. Like
This
if-
guy, so, and he was like, Doug was giving not just for Europe, for USA, big tips, And then after, I think we went and did the gig, and you came back and were like, no, we're going back to that bar.
Yeah, no, I remember that
And
bar.
he did not give you one iota of warmth. He was just giving bigger and bigger tips, and it's like the guy was like, no.
It's the whole, anyone listening, the bad beat you're getting from that Asian dealer at 4 a.m, and you're gonna hit the ATM again, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna fucking beat you. I'm gonna smile, but I'm gonna fucking beat you because I cannot lose this much money, this many hands in a row. I'm due. I could not tip this fucking stoic, fucking Viking idiot, fucking arrogant bartender. I'm going to go to the ATM. I'm going to tip you more because I'm due for a smile. I'm so overdue for a smile. Yes, I didn't get that smile.
Yeah, I think his name was. I remember his name.
Are you sure that was Denmark?
That was Denmark.
All right. I was
His name was
remembering.
Alex or
Wow.
something like that.
What a fucking memory.
And he was old. He's like in his 50s, and he felt we were insulting the bar just by being in it. He had that thing
with all
about-
your dirty cash.
Yeah.
He looked like the 1970 Ben Davidson, I think, is the linebacker from the Oakland Raiders. The big handlebar mustache. He was in the old Taste Great, Less Filling commercials. I think he's the one who lifts up the pool table and all the balls drain into one corner. Ben Davidson, I believe. Yeah, but an old cunt like that.
The Hudson does have a very nice outside bar area you can sit in.
That's no plug. We're not getting sponsorship like that.
I need to go for a pee.
All right. Well, put that down. We'll talk about you behind your back. That's Brian Hennigan, who's still trying to get us fucking booked in Australia. Why? No, not shut up. It's fucking Australia's fault. Hey, if you have a great story, especially if you're in one of the towns we'll be touring on, check DougStanhope.com on the tour dates. Hey, if you're in that town, you have a great story you want to tell us on the podcast, we probably won't use you. But the only way we're going to find out is if you call 520-366-1078. That's 520-366-1078. That's our fucking burner phone for the podcast. And that way we can figure out if you can speak. We tried this before, Hennigan. We're like trying to get people who have good stories when we're in fuck off Wyoming or wherever. Hey, but then they what they do is they
Email
it. Oh, well, you might be able to email, but then you can't talk when you get there. So
that makes sense.
yeah, so that's why we got this. Did you see this? It's the new Doug Stanhope burner phone.
I like that.
Yeah, Doug Stanhope podcast burner phone.
What's that number?
520-366-1078.
Sorry, did you say 520? Oh, 366-1078. I wasn't sure about that.
You have to do it in a sing-song way. That's how they do it in real commercials.
Already?
520-366-1078.
888.
All right. $37. That's no podcast. What other stories? How about that old girl that saved your life? That's not really a good story. That's
Sapporo?
no. He was almost.
Sapporo.
He almost stepped in front of a train or a bus and
In
just
Hong Kong. It's an interesting story in the sense that I can point to something in a point in my life where somebody probably saved my life.
Literally.
Like I was stepping off a curb and she grabbed me and pulled me back and a bus went straight past.
That same thing happened with Brett Erickson and I in Amsterdam. We
That's
were down looking for mushrooms. It was so early in the morning. We were drunk.
That's where our stories diverge.
But I pulled him back, and the bus mirror. I mean, it was fucking insane, and I didn't realize. And he looked at me and was like, "Fucking A." I mean, and I didn't realize how big of a deal it was. But yeah, it saved his life.
That's so great that we have Brian here as a centerpiece. So when he brings up a story, you can use that as a
thought he was
catalyst
done.
No, his story ends with, "That's the first time he admitted that he loved a girl to me."
Oh,
really?
it seemed like he was done, and you
loved her so much,
Oh, I did.
and you never told her that story.
That's
how
right,
she
I didn't.
saved you. You were modeling one night,
That's
drunk,
right.
and you told us that
Well, I don't think-
story.
I
Me
think
and Bingo, not the riffraff here, Chaille, but me and Bingo, you told us that story, and you said, "I never told her that, and I love her so much."
Right. Well,
Yeah.
well, those things happen.
Well, I apologize.
Not to you.
I
You don't
thought
have
your story was
emotions.
over. I didn't know you were going to tell us a part that you didn't think you were going to tell
Yeah.
us either.
Well done, Captain Interruptus.
All right, we got to go find out if we can do this other dumb podcast. This'll drop in. This'll be filler podcast.
Okay.
Not our best.
Don't discount it.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I love hearing Hennigan stories.
Hennigan's always got good stories, but he was filler tonight. So we're still waiting for that other podcast.
I was meat in the room.
Meat in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it? We're done?
Yeah. Hey, are we gonna have to do?
Apparently not.
No. Are we gonna have to do sponsorship?
With who?
Well, that
Oh,
announcement.
Oh,
we
yeah,
haven't made.
yeah. Yeah, it depends.
Actually, this is probably going to go out before
Yeah, don't worry about it.
All right.
your,
All right.
Do
Your
another
Bill
ending.
Burr
Do
one.
another ending.
No, we don't have to do another ending.
No, it'll be interesting to talk
no,
about.
It teases people. What are they talking about at the end? Who
I'm
knows?
cutting
Who
this-
knows what
I'm
they?
cutting this out. For
Okay,
sure.
good.
Fuck you. You're not cutting anything.
Cutting
Okay,
this
that's
out.
the end of the podcast. If any of this has been cut, you contact me directly via postcard at 212 Van Dyke Street, Bisbee, Arizona 85603, or just
it's the fuzz.
or just come and spray paint it on my fence. All right, goodbye.
I'm cutting that out too.
No, you're not. I'll cut you out. Greg Chaille's been cut out of this podcast. Actually, you know what? Listen to this podcast and then don't listen to the Greg Chaille parts. Good night. Thanks, Brian Hennigan. 02134. Send it to Zoom. I don't know what you're looking at me for.
Play the Mattoid.
Remember that part.
Play the Mattoid.
Party time.
You've been listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast, recorded at AirBnB in Los Angeles, with Doug Stanhope, Brian Hennigan, and Greg Chaille. Produced and engineered by me, Chaille. This podcast sponsored by AirBnB and Saks Underpants. Call Stanhope's burner phone at 520-366-1078. And check out the West Coast tour dates at DougStanhope.com. Thanks for listening.
Time. Laugh your laughs and heat your heats. It's party time. Smile your smiles and blue your blues. It's party time. There. Dance your dance and shoe your shoes. It's party time. Howl your howls and suck your socks. It's party time. Yeah. Oh baby, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Everybody, grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. One more. Grab your craps and fuck your fucks. It's party time. Here we go. Party time. Yeah. Party time. Party time. Yeah. Party time. 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 Hey.